Hello. Now, it seems you've stumbled across another review video by another random gamer seeking to add their opinion to the innumerably large pile of video game reviews. They tell me I have neither a face for TV or a voice for radio, but too bad, because I love this game and I want to push my opinion onto you, a complete and total stranger. So I'm Asinium, and you have the misfortune of hearing my opinion on A Plague Tale: Innocence. When thinking about video games, I like to break it up into its 5 core segments: story, graphics, music, game mechanics, and value. Now for this video, due to it being an immersive RPG tale of woe, I'm going to add another segment: immersion. Because for me, that's what this kind of game is all about. How it draws me into its tale, how it keeps me there, and the emotional payoff it delivers. Anyway, let's get started. So, this kind of game, it isn't for everyone. Personally, I love it. I find a good story, whether it's a book, movie, TV show, or a video game, to be extremely compelling. When games like these come around, which are heavily narrative orientated, I can't wait to dive right in. It's games like The Last of Us, God of War, Red Dead Redemption that just make me a little bit too excited. So this game starts off fantastically. It appears idyllic. Amicia, the protagonist, her dog Leon, spelt like lion but pronounced Leon, and her father are having a hallmark moment, playing in the forest nearby their chateau. Everything's well lit, happy, carefree, right up until it's not. Things go from 0 to 100 quick smart. It's you and your estranged, sickly little brother in the most dimly lit and depressing world imaginable. Hauntingly beautiful, but honestly I'd nope out of there so goddamn quick. Now, unfortunately for Hugo and Amicia, the tale is a cacophony of depressing, soul-draining events. Hugo remains extremely cute and innocent, finding happiness and beauty in even the darkest situations. Amicia, however, is forced to repeatedly commit horrendous, morally grey acts to protect herself and Hugo. We see her character get darker, more spiteful and hateful throughout the story as she battles to protect herself, Hugo, and her friends.
Here you go. He's all yours. He got what he deserved.
Midway through the game is when A Plague Tale really hits its stride. You've mastered the basic mechanics of the game and you can focus on the extremely beautiful, melancholic story that unfolds before you. This goes on for some hours and I was completely drawn into the game. I finished it in 2 sittings. Now, much like a recent story of Ice and Fire, however, the ending of A Plague Tale leaves a little bit to be desired. Now, without any spoilers, things just get a little rushed. The big bad who's been chasing you most of the game is really just a lieutenant to another bigger bad who's been pulling the strings all along. Then things just get a little bit far-fetched in my opinion, and sort of going off kilter to the rest of the story. This is largely only the final boss fight of the game, which whilst it took several attempts, was just a bit strange. The rest of the game personally I found to be compelling and well written, with strong dialogue and powerful moments that really just made me empathise with the characters and their awfully grim tale. All in all, the story was beautiful and well written. I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Don't worry. I'll lead the way. Thank you.
Whilst a good story is essential to games like these, how they look is nearly as important. A Plague Tale does not disappoint in this area, perpetually producing these visually stunning scenes. I don't think I've ever seen lighting used to such a powerful effect in video games. Those ray tracing boys have done some good shit with this one. I played this game on PC with a GTX 2060 GPU, 16GB of RAM, and an i5 Intel CPU. I have a pretty good computer, so this game was stunning. Now, light is a core mechanic in this game, and it is used to both create stunning scenes, set the environment and mood, while simultaneously protecting you from the hordes of rats scurrying to devour you.
Alchemical animals, putrefaction, purification, amalgamation, and... great! Hey, what does it look like down there? A nest. They're all around me, and I can't see a thing. Right, let's go.
I'll try to guide you.
And how do you intend to do that?
The light. I'll wait close to the basement. Good luck.
All right, can you see anything? Except that he won't be coming back.
Amicia, you're going to be all right?
I'm going to go see the other.
Now, I just can't stress how that every 5 minutes there's another one of these. It just draws you so deeply into the game. Like, the only thing that pulls me out is when I realise that these moonlight effects, they're only there because it's glittering down through a pile of animal corpses. The visual effects are simply stunning. 10 out of 10.
The curtain, it's there.
Now, in terms of music, once again, A Plague Tale hits it out of the park. I cuddled up on my couch, put on some expensive Sony headphones with a blanket, and played this one through my TV. The soundtrack is hauntingly beautiful, melancholic, and powerful. Now, I love music, but I'm no talented musician. The closest I got to being a musician was playing the recorder in year 3. But, the music perfectly suits the story and the visuals of the game. Here are some of the situations when I just stopped, closed my eyes and listened. Plug in some headphones and just get drawn in.
We're here. Lucas, behind this door.
I understand. I'm with you.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. Is this real?
My home.
Is that a body over there?
No. No, please.
Amicia, we can stop. Find another way.
No, I have to see.
Just the same as the visuals, the audio is stunning. It was perfect. The main theme of the game hits me in places I wasn't even sure I had places. It never struck out to me as simply on a repeat or a loop, even though sometimes I'm sure it must have been. The music was intertwined perfectly into the action and story of the game, ramping up to a breakneck pace during chase scenes, slowing down to its melancholic strengths when a key point in the story happened.
It's him. Hugo!
Let me go!
He's there. Thank you.
Stop shouting!
In regard to atmosphere and mood, music is one key factor, but another one is the audio. The amount of times I snuck past a guard, him only just missing me, with the sound of Amicia's stifled breathing loud into my headphones. It really simulates that classic fear of hiding and being afraid that the mere sound of your breathing will give you away. There really is so much to talk about it when it comes to audio in this game. It's simply fantastic. Play the game and you'll understand. 10 out of 10.
Are you alright? They didn't hurt you, did they?
No,
But why did you go off like that?
I heard Mummy. She was calling me.
It must have been a nightmare, that's all.
I really thought it
Now, when it comes to game mechanics, we all know they're important. Good mechanics are what differentiate a game like this from a movie, and it can be one of the core reasons why people don't like these kind of games. This game is a stealth game, with moderate use of combat as Amicia slings rocks and other projectiles at her opponents. This progresses through her travels as Amicia unlocks some more and more projectiles for her sling, like pallets that start fire, put out fires, melt armor, or create blinding flashes of light. Additionally, you're often travelling with at least one companion. They have their own abilities, either sneaking around to open a door for you, silently taking out an enemy, or creating distractions. However, where A Plague Tale shines, and what differentiates it from the other games, such as The Last of Us, is the use of light as a mechanic. The rats in the game are the most common threat, and they fear light, so the use of fire and light is fundamental to the game's progression. This often takes the form of puzzles where you have to get to a location but with limited sources of fire available, often needing you to light or extinguish fires to create distractions or make your way through hordes of ravenous rats. So, the game mechanics are probably one of this game's few pitfalls. They're robust and they're interesting and well executed. However, whilst the graphics, audio and the story are fantastic, this just fails through anything really as profound, or, forgive my pun, as game-changing as the rest of the game. I give the mechanics a 7.5 out of 10. They're by no means bad, rather they simply aren't the strengths of the game, and perhaps games such as The Last of Us maybe just do it slightly better.
You hurt me. I have to find Mummy.
As I said earlier, one of the core strengths of games such as these is immersion. Overall, I found this game to be fantastic in this respect. Firstly, there are very few loading screens, only when swapping from one chapter to the next, and for me they were all very short and not jarring in the least. Obviously the graphics and the music of the game, which we've already established are pristine, work fantastically in the goal of creating an immersive, deep and story-driven world. I found this game very easy to pick up and extremely difficult to pull myself away from. And honestly, one of the few things that I didn't like about this game was the voice acting. The audio itself was fantastic, but the mouths of the characters never lined up with the words. This may be due to the fact that Asobo, the developers of the game, are French, and if the words were in French, maybe they'd line up better. I'm not sure, but here's a clip of what I mean.
It is done.
Can I go and see my mother now?
Only the Grand Inquisitor may say.
But you told me.
My words are of no importance. Only those of the Grand Inquisitor.
And this is the only thing I found in the game that pulled me out of the overall story and effect. For immersion, this game it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. And there are very few games that I can think of that sucked me in as easily and as powerfully as this. A Plague Tale: Innocence is a beautiful, fantastic, meticulously crafted piece of art. Sadly, I finished the game in 12 hours. I was not rushing, and nor did I skip any content. The game is priced at $40 US on PC. For me in Australia, this was equivalent to about 60 Australian dollars. It may be cheaper from a retailer or on console. I can't attest to that, but I'd recommend looking at your local. I love this game, and I'm happy I bought it, but 12 hours is really not a long time. Whilst I can't recommend this game enough, and I'm more than happy to support indie developers, from a consumer perspective and for the average person, this is a bit too expensive. I would recommend waiting for a sale or discount and then picking up the game. I'm also hoping for some extra content. The story is not definitively wrapped up by the end, with a few loose plot threads. So I could see another game coming out of this. Hopefully, fingers crossed, some free content could be on the way. Now, if you've made it this far, it's clear how much I love this game. It was visually and musically amazing, and there are very few games I can imagine that have such a resounding impact on me. The game mechanics were strong, I was deeply immersed my entire playthrough, but yes, in the end, it's quite a short game, and at its current price, it's a bit expensive for most people. Please pick this game up on sale. If you enjoyed it half as much as I did, you'll have a great time. Now for our overall ratings, story 8 out of 10, graphics 10 out of 10, audio 10 out of 10, game mechanics 7.5 out of 10, immersion 8.5 out of 10, total score of 44 out of 50. So guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Now this is my first foray into the world of YouTube video game reviews, so if you enjoyed it, please give me a like or a subscribe, but I'm not doing this with the goal of becoming the next PewDiePie. I love video games, and I love this game in particular. Please let me know how I went. If you'd recommend any changes or things you didn't like, please don't hesitate to say. Also, let me know what you thought of the game, or if you are planning to pick it up. See you next time.